My ex-wife and I are the parents of a daughter, nearly adult, and a teen son. We share custody of our kids 50-50 and have been divorced for 13 years. Neither of us pays child support because we have equal time with the kids, and we split the costs of everything: school, medical, dental, extracurriculars. I opened up bank accounts for my kids when each was born, and I've saved from the get-go. But around 8 or so years ago, I came into some money because I was injured at work, and I put that money into their accounts. Also, a relative died 4 years ago, and I was given a sum of money that I also put into their accounts. So the money I save for them will help them tremendously in their futures, whether they go to college or not. My ex-wife remarried several years ago. Her stepdaughter is a teen, she's got a nephew of her husband's they're raising who's a young teen, and she has 2 kids, a young child and a kindergartner, with her husband. My ex-wife wanted to talk to me about college for our kids, and she told me that she and her husband had told all their kids that community college would be the most affordable option for them and that they would get as much help as possible, but a more expensive school would be tough on them. I told her that our kids would have that option if they wanted it because I saved them a healthy amount. She asked me why I'd never told her sooner, and I told her because I was taking care of our children and it wasn't something she needed to know. A few days after this talk, she called me and, alongside her husband, said that they would like me to pay child support for our kids so that they can save more money for their other children's futures. I told her I wasn't going to pay her child support just so she could support the other children in her home. Her husband told me I could always offer to split the money between all of the children. I told him I was not paying for his kids to go to college. I told them I only had a responsibility to my children. I told them if they wanted to save money, I would happily take the kids more if they, my kids, wanted to spend more time at home with me. My ex-wife called me cruel and said keeping 50-50 and paying money so our kids' siblings can go to college should be a no-brainer for me. I told her the day I have an obligation to help her support her entire household is the day in another universe where we never broke up. But we did, and she has to accept she is equally responsible for our kids as me. They both told me I was an idiot, and even though I feel like I'm crazy for asking, I must ask, am I the idiot? Not the idiot. 50-50 means no child support. What a laughable suggestion on their part. They are trying to sucker you into paying for their kids. Don't budge. Wait, why should you be paying for their kids? It makes sense that you've planned for your children's futures. Imagine if the roles were reversed and you asked her for such a favor. I don't think she would ever agree to such a scenario. Their audacity. Agreed, they're absolute jokes. Are the funds in your kids' names? If so, change it ASAP because first, they try to sucker you into paying up. Next targets your kids they will try to convince them to share with their step-siblings. Change it ASAP as they'll try to guilt them. I used to be a banker and have seen firsthand how people act when it comes to money. It's not outside the realm of possibility that a mom would take her kids to the bank and drain the accounts. Yeah, it's a no-brainer for them, not for OP and his kids. I'm shocked her husband would even bring it up to OP. How embarrassing. The fact that you already have money for your kids' college means your ex doesn't have to put money towards it, even though she should, hence saving money for her other kids. Yeah, you're not crazy. She's got some nerve, and her husband even more so by asking money for their own kids. Some people, I swear. OP, call a lawyer. 50-50 doesn't automatically mean no child support is owed. If there's a big disparity in your incomes, if she stayed home to raise your kids for a couple of years and her career took a long-term hit, then it's quite possible you should have been paying some kind of child support and she just hasn't held you to it before. Suppose she can show that in court, you may be ordered to pay anyway and possibly pay back support for the last 13 years. So rather than judge you as an idiot or not, I think you should consider whether your ex would succeed in legal proceedings over this, and if the odds are high, maybe paying child support voluntarily for the next 3 years is the cheaper option. I, 42 female, met my husband 44 6 years ago and we've been married for 2 years. He has a daughter, pre-tween from a previous marriage that ended badly after his ex cheated on him. His daughter rarely ever sees her mom as she constantly travels the world. I feel awful that his daughter hasn't had a good mother figure in her life, so I've been trying my best to take her out to do girly things and bond with her since her mother isn't around to do so. She's always called me by my first name, but for the first time when we were sitting at the table for dinner, she called me Mom, and it just didn't feel right. It made me feel uncomfortable. I told her that, I'm sorry, but I'm not your mother. You can't call me that, sweetie. and she was shocked and started to tear up a bit. My husband and I were arguing all night, telling me that what I did was awful. He told me that she feels comfortable and close enough to call me Mom, and that I should feel special for her calling me Mom. He doesn't want to see how I feel from my side. Her mother is very much still alive, and I don't want to disrespect her by taking her title as a Mom. It all feels very awkward, as I'm used to her calling me by my name. Life was moving so smoothly until she had to call me Mom. So, am I the idiot for not wanting to be called Mom? You are the idiot for crushing a little girl in a vulnerable moment. She probably had to work up the courage to do it, fearing your rejection, and you made her worst fears come true. Her bio mom is absent and doesn't deserve the title, though I think you don't either. I can't imagine how the little girl felt with that, and I really hope the relationship between OP and that girl can still continue to grow, past being told that she wasn't actually her mom, despite being there for her since she was 1. I'm blown away. OP's not the idiot. If she doesn't want to be called Mom, then that's the only thing that matters. Geez, if it was the other way round and OP wanted to be called Mom but the kid refused, the tone shift would be immense. OP, your response is right that she has a mother and you are not wanting to replace her. I mean, yeah, it rightfully would get a different judgment because that would be a grown adult pressuring a child they have power over to treat them as a parent. This, however, is a grown adult who married a man with a young child and has been raising said child with him for 2 years, deciding to break that child's heart by refusing the title of Mom. The girl is young, and OP has been in their lives since she was 1 and has been her stepmom since she was 5. Don't marry someone with kids if you're not willing to parent those kids. I see both sides here. My recommendation is that she calls her mother Mom and you two come up with a new name for her to call you. Maybe it's Mimi or Mama or something similar. But she needs to call you something and she wants you to be one of her parents. That's huge and really special, and I hope you realize how uncommon it is with step relationships. Heck, you, she and her dad can have a family meeting to decide your new name. Make it a celebration. Get dressed up, go for dessert at a fancy restaurant and toast your new family. I, 32 female, am a mother of 2 kids, a female kindergartner and a male toddler. Unfortunately, I don't get along with my family. Actually, I've been in no contact with my parents for more than 10 years. My husband, 35, grew up in the system his whole life, so when we got serious, we dreamed of having the picture-perfect family life that we didn't have while growing up. I've been doing everything I can to make Christmas magical for my small family. Every room is decorated, including bathrooms, with elaborate lights and decorations on the outside. I stuff advent calendars, make cookies almost every day, and match pajamas and postcards for our friends, etc. Also, we go all out on gifts for our kids. I reconnected with my sister last year. We talked online and had one face-to-face meeting. She visited my city. She's also married with 3 kids, all under 12. Her husband is unemployed, she works retail, and they have a ton of medical debt. I guess she's been going through my social media lately, and she's seen how we celebrate Christmas in our house. Then she contacted me, and after a couple of minutes, she said that they were planning to spend Christmas with us as a gift. I said that I appreciated her gesture, but that Christmas for us is just for our small family. We do not like to include the extended family. She kept insisting that it would be fun and that my kids would absolutely love to celebrate with their cousins. My kids have never even met their cousins. I kept insisting that it wouldn't be possible for us. Then she switched tones and started telling me that they couldn't afford Christmas for their kids and wanted the kids to have a fun holiday for once. I sympathized with her, but told her again that they would not be able to spend Christmas with us. Then she asked me for some money to help with Christmas expenses, and I told her that we didn't have any extra funds this month, but that I had $100 budgeted for gifts for her family that I could send her. She asked for more, but I turned her down. That was when she got angry at me. She said that I was a selfish witch and that it wasn't fair that her kids wouldn't get to celebrate Christmas while I was throwing money out the window on my vanity project of a house. I hung up on her, then sent her a text. This is the exact text. I am sorry that you and your family are struggling, but I will not be sacrificing our family traditions for your ease. I will be sending you $100 as a gift for the kids, but neither you nor your family are welcome to our family Christmas. I will expect an apology when you cool down, otherwise don't bother contacting me again. I stand by my decision not to have them celebrate with us, but still, I'm feeling guilty for how I worded it. So, am I the idiot for using the phrase, "You nor your family are welcome to our family Christmas"? Not the idiot. Not only is it rude to invite yourself and your family over, but it's also worse to insist on it after being refused. No is no. This is how you get no contact like you just did. And the $100 is very generous. However, I wonder why her husband is unemployed. That is likely part of why they're not having a good Christmas. And many of your vanity projects for Christmas can be done fairly inexpensively yet look pricey, especially if you do it yourself and get goods at sales and thrift stores. She doesn't know how much you spent, etc. I hope she doesn't know where you live. However, they may show up as a surprise Christmas gift. Be ready if so. She was clearly just contacting you to get a free Christmas experience for her kids. Don't get into the crab bucket. She will try to drag you down all in the guise of her and her family's company being a gift to you. Her husband can get a job. She can have a scaled-down Christmas. This is your dream, and you and your husband deserve to make this holiday one for the four of you to cherish. You do not owe her your hard work. I, female 50s, have a sister 40s who sees herself as my family lives in a camper van Instagram influencer. In 2020, she, her husband and their 4 kids moved into a camper. They homeschool the kids, travel all over the US, etc. They come to visit for holidays, but we don't see them besides that. My husband and I are the opposite. We have 4 kids and live in a big, beautiful house in Colorado. So the issue is, my sister and her family came over for Thanksgiving and spent the night. My sister's oldest, male and female young teen twins, slept in my daughter's and son's rooms with them. In the morning, my niece and my sister got into a big argument, with my niece being incredibly angry at her mother for making her live in a camper when she could have so much more space, and not have to share so much with her brothers. They all sleep in the same area, and be able to have more clothes, friends, extracurricular activities. I asked what was going on, and according to my sister, this had been an argument for a while. Money is not an issue. They had a house before and sold it for a massive amount of money. My sister has a trust fund and a job, and she likes living in a camper. After a brief conversation with my husband and my children, we offered, in private to my sister, to take my eldest niece in. We have extra guest rooms and could make 1 bedroom for her. There are great schools in our area, we'd pay for everything for her, etc. She instantly said no, that she knew what was best for her daughter, she would miss her siblings. We didn't mention it again. Well, my youngest, young female teen, told her cousin about the offer. She was very happy but angry that her mother hadn't brought it up. She told my sister that if she made her come live in the camper again, she'd never do anything her mother wanted because it was unfair that her mother wasn't letting her have a true childhood. While I don't condone tantrums like that, I understood where she was coming from and helped convince my sister. When her twin brother found out, he wanted to stay too. My sister asked him what she was supposed to do without them, how she was going to care for the younger siblings without them, talking about missing out on family trips, etc. But my nephew didn't change his mind. We agreed to a trial period of 3 weeks, which ended 3 days ago. My sister came back, fully expecting her kids to want to come back with her, but they flat out refused to even get in the camper. My sister is very angry. She said that I was supposed to make them want to live with her and that I was a horrible sister for treating her like this. She said I should kick them out, but I said no. She said that I'm a massive idiot and told her kids not to expect her to come back for them when they got tired of maximalism. Now her kids are sad, but they still don't want to leave, and I'm worried I've ruined my relationship with my sister. Am I the idiot? Edit. We have temporary guardianship signed by my sister. Her husband came over after they left and we filled out the power of attorney forms, got the things we needed to put them in school, etc. And he took them back and had us sign them, so we should be all clear. My brother is an attorney and he helped us with the forms as well. Not the idiot. Your sister sounds selfish and like a bit of a lunatic. Camper life is glorified homelessness. She wants to live this way, but her children do not. They need a stable home. Friends, family and education. Living like nomads is not something most kids can do. End of the day, you're helping your niece and nephew out. You're not beholden to your sister or supposed to do anything but help the kids. Yeah, you've strained your relationship with her, but that relationship is not worth the health of these kids. Glorified is the key word. I get it, it's a nice camper, but travelling all over the place and not having roots is basically one of the effects of homelessness. I will go a step further and say it's a low-key form of child abuse. The kids are being denied structure and opportunities, like friends, sports and extracurricular activities. Your sister is a selfish person. she's putting her wants and needs over her children, which is something a good parent never does. My sister asked him what she was supposed to do without them and how she was going to care for the younger siblings without them. This sounds like parentification, which is not a good thing for the twins. They should be living a teenager's life and only helping to look after younger sibs and kids if they're paid babysitters and only for a few hours a week. The kids were miserable living in a camper. Of course they wanted to escape given half a chance. My dad likes to play jokes on people, and if you complain, he says you're a baby and have no sense of humour. My dad also hates to read instructions. Last Christmas I got him a set of computer-controlled Christmas lights. They're really cool. You can control each individual LED and you set patterns on them. You can make your tree twinkle or look like a candy cane. It's a neat system. I installed the app for the lights on my dad's phone and showed him how to use them. One other thing you can do is make it look like one of the lights is broken. All of the other lights work perfectly, but you can pick one and make it look like it's shorting out. It flickers, goes out, and comes back on, randomly, and you can cycle through all the lights. It's driving my dad crazy. He's unstrung them from the tree 3 times now. First, he lays them out and tries to see which the light is. But when he unplugs them, they revert to a default state and cycle through the colours. My mum noticed that the lights only mess up when I'm around, so she asked me what I was doing. I admitted the truth. She laughed and asked me to show her how to do it so my dad didn't figure out I was messing with him. My husband thinks I'm being petty and kind of a jerk to my dad, but as a victim of my father's jokes for over 5 years now, he also doesn't want me to stop. I feel a little bad about it, but also justified after a life of putting up with him joking about my thin skin. Am I the idiot? Not the idiot, and you're a genius. I thought you were busted when your mum discovered what you were doing. I love that she joined in. She is the real hero here. If your dad can dish it out, he can take it. Please tell your mom she's awesome. Pranks are the worst, but as a prankster, I'd say he deserves it. Yep, normally I'd say it's a bit unkind, but a dad who constantly plays jokes and if you don't laugh, you can't take a joke, he had this coming. Update when he figures it out. Will he have a good sense of humour about it, or will he have a total temper tantrum? Make sure to have that "don't be a baby" ready and waiting too. LOL.